So I was looking at this case today on Facebook, and then something came to my mind, and I just think I need to look more into this. So Hollywood runs on fantasy, red carpets, power couples, whirlwind romances, but behind the sparkle, there's a long pattern of famous people marrying significantly younger partners. Sometimes legally as adults, yes, but sometimes heartbreakingly younger. Some of these relationships were consensual between adults, but others were widely criticized and deeply troubling. So I'll be looking at some of these crazy famous people who married younger people and just how outrageous it is. So the first one is Jerry Lee Lewis and Myra Gale Brown. And in 1957, rock and roll star Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. He was 22 when news broke during the UK tour. His career nearly collapsed overnight. Even by 1950s standards, the backlash was intense. It became one of the music's history's most famous scandal. And so that's just number one and absolutely disgusting. 13 years old, and she is his cousin. And I do believe later on in life he did admit that he regretted doing this, allegedly. And I'll do a deep dive into this as well eventually. The second person I thought was just disgusting was R. Kelly. And in 1994, 15-year-old singer Aaliyah secretly married 27-year-old R. Kelly. The marriage was later annulled because she was underage. Years later, the situation would be re-examined in the context of broader allegations against Kelly, and the public conversations shifted from gossip to serious concerns about exploitation in the music industry. And so Aaliyah, being just 15 years old, marrying a 27-year-old man who is, I think that would have been 12 years older than her, is just absolutely insane. If she was 18 and he was 12 years, or if she was 19 and he was 12 years older, fine, whatever. But 15, just disgusting. And then Courtney Stodden and Doug Hutchinson was the next one I saw. And in 2011, 16-year-old Courtney Stodden married 51-year-old actor Doug Hutchinson. The relationship sparked fierce debate about parental consent, the laws, and the power imbalances. So years later, Courtney spoke openly about feeling exploited and unsupported, and I just think he looks super creepy in these pictures, guys. So not all early marriages involved extreme age gaps, but many involved younger brides. So Marilyn Monroe, she got married at 15. Loretta Lynn got married at 18. Elizabeth Taylor married at 18. Loretta Lynn actually got married at 15 and not 18. Elizabeth Taylor is the one that got married at 18. Demi Moore got married early. Drew Barrymore and Olivia Wilde all married in their teens. But back then, early marriage was more socially accepted, especially for women. And in some cases, it was about escaping difficult homes, and in others, it was simply the culture of the time. So now let's look at modern Hollywood, where large age differences still raise an eyebrow, but involve consenting adults. So Dennis Quaid and Laura Savoy. So they're 39 years apart, but that's okay because they're grown adults. Nicolas Cage, as well, married partners 19 and nearly 30 years younger than him. And so that's fine because you're older. Cher and Sonny Bono, she was 18 and he was 29. Bo Derek and John Derek. So Bo was 19 and John was 49. And that pairing actually drew a lot of heavy criticism because of that age gap. So these relationships tends to spark the same question, like, is it love or is it power? So power, wealth, status, these can blur lines. Younger partners may be drawn to fame, older celebrities may seek youth. And in some cases, especially historically, legal standards were shockingly permissive. But modern audience view these relationships differently than past generations did. What was once whispered about in tabloids is now debated intensely online. And there's a difference between two adults with a large age gap and a minor involved in a relationship with someone significantly younger or significantly older, actually. So today, the public is far more critical of power imbalances, especially when youth and vulnerability are involved. Hollywood history reflects changing social norms. Some stories are romantic, some are just tragic, and some are just cautionary. So I just think this is interesting and I want to do a deep dive on a few of these people. So just let me know what you guys think. Should I go ahead and do a deep dive, or is there someone specifically that you want to talk about? I know I've heard about Elvis Presley. Just it's just insane. But yeah, go ahead and like and follow. I'll be doing more of these videos in the future. Thank you.